This bill, I think, is a vision for the future. This bill is above all a jobs bill. Now, I know climate is an issue out there, and I'm not going to run away from it, pretend that it isn't. You know, 20 nations got together in Italy last year, and they all decided together that we've got to keep the Earth's temperature from rising above 2 degrees centigrade. That's the decision they made. Prime ministers, presidents. The fact is, on the course we are today, we're going to rise somewhere between 7 and 9 degrees, and it's catastrophic. And on the course we are today, we're not going to keep our emissions at a level where we won't see that increase, because scientists tell us we're going to keep it at 350 to 450, and we're going up to 600 to 900 right now, even with the best proposals that are on the table. Now, that's not what I'm here to talk about, because the truth is, this revolution we're talking about is above all a jobs revolution. It will create millions of jobs. And I'm not just throwing that out at you. I'm not just saying that. We have an energy crisis, we have an economic crisis, and we have, obviously, the climate crisis. But the economic crisis requires America to decide how we are going to produce the jobs that pay more money and raise people's standard of living so we can do better in the future. What are those jobs going to be? They're not going to be making clothing or shoes, leather. They're not going to be some of the lower tech jobs that we did in the past, because too many other countries have too many people who don't have any health benefits, don't have any jobs, who work for $1 or less a day, and we just don't compete with that. So we got to create the jobs in the places where we can compete. And generally speaking, that's going to be by creating jobs and things where we invent the technologies, where we have the processes that other people can't replicate and duplicate immediately and reverse engineer, and where we can pay a higher wage because the product that we produce is going to be in demand in other parts of the world. That's what's going to happen. Let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the revolution that fueled the wealth creation of the 1990s, when we saw incomes go up at every level in America, came from a $1 trillion market technology with 1 billion users. The energy market that we're looking at today is a $6 trillion market with 6 billion users. And we need to get into that market. As President Obama said, I don't want America to be number 2, I want America to be number 1. And so do you. And the way we do that is by investing in our future and creating jobs. Right now, we're not doing it. I'll tell you who is. China, India, Mexico. China's investing $400 billion into these new technologies. China today is the world's #1 leader in solar and in wind. We invented those technologies in the Bell Laboratories in the 1950s and 60s and 70s. Not one American company is in the top 10 in the world today in solar production. So I want us to get into this. And I know, because I hear it from chief executives, like Lou Hay, chief executive of Florida Power and Light, who said the other day, if we could pass this legislation, he'll invest billions of dollars of their company into wind. They're already in wind, but they'll invest more. They'll invest in solar. They'll invest in nuclear. And we can begin to move America to the energy independence that we deserve. Now, let me just share with you. Here, I want you all to get a hold of this somewhere. This is a National Jobs and Renewable Sectors Job Studies. Now, I just want to emphasize to you, when I say to you, there are millions of jobs to be created, I'm not throwing political malarkey at you. This is documented by any number of neutral and respected entities, ranging from economic impacts of comprehensive climate energy policy. The Center for Climate Strategies did that. That's a study that says you could have 107 billion expansion in GDP by 2020, and talks about the jobs. There's a The NRDC actually did a study with United Auto Workers and the Center for American Progress, which says you could have 62,000 additional jobs by 2014 and 20 to 54,000 right here in the United States. You have the Clean Energy Climate Policy Job Creation Study from the University of California, Berkeley. That says somewhere between 918,000 to 1.9 million jobs between 2010 and 2020, and you have an increase of income in the United States from $448 to $1,176 per household. These studies go on. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I got 5 pages of studies here, all of which by various entities, including the McKinsey Company, which, as you know, is one of our most respected think tanks about economic matters and consulting. And they've said that the first 20 to 30 years of this effort to reduce emissions is free. Free. Doesn't cost money. Because companies actually make money by reducing their energy bills by using energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is the fastest, cheapest, most effective and efficient way to grab back the emissions and to move to the new energy economy. And I can show you companies today, IBM, Hewlett-Packard, DuPont, Dow Chemical, General Electric, Cisco Systems, countless companies across the country are already reducing their emissions by 20, 30, 40, 50%, and they're making money doing it. Their net bottom line is plus up. They're finding it's good business. And that's what we have to go out and make sure we show people, that the advanced technology deployment that we put in line here will put America back into the marketplace globally and economically and make us more energy independent here at home. How? Let me tell you specifically. We are going to use Team Bloom Pickens' plan about conversion of big, heavy-duty garbage trucks, major haul trucks, 18-wheelers, within certain geographic limits, where the truck goes out for the day, does a whole bunch of deliveries, it comes back at night. You don't need to build a lot of infrastructure. You can use compressed natural gas, which is a 50% reduction immediately on the emissions. But guess what? It's an immediate reduction on our dependency to pay money to Iraq and Iran and Nigeria and Venezuela to import oil in the United States. We move towards energy independence. The first step in legitimately moving towards that in about 35 years.